like Party with the Nelk Boys a little bit. Are there? I know there's some like other big names you've kind of like collaborated with or like hung out with.
Yeah. So, like I said before, I had Steveo had reposted one of my videos, and whenever he reposted my video, that was like right when I first made my page. I hit him up and I was like, hey, like, that's my video. And he had reposted it from seeing it on Barstool, and I was like, yo, that's my video from Barstool. He's like, would you mind? I was like, would you mind tagging me? And he was like, yeah, for sure. Like, I got you, because he's really big on like giving credit to people where it's due. Like a lot of people are out here like posting other people's videos, trying to take credit for them and doing all that. And fuck you if you're a person that owns a page that's big and doesn't give people credit. You suck.
Yeah.
But no, Steve-O's really great about that. He reposts other people's videos all the time, like, and he gives people credit, and he really shows love to him. But so me and Steve-O had kind of formed like a little bit of a relationship, because I really think he kind of saw like a little bit of his younger self in me, a little bit. And so I think that's why he like he was so like open and like was super easily approachable, and like was always like down to talk with me whenever I wanted to talk to him. And I actually met him for the first time. He had a show in like Iowa, and I drove up to Iowa a couple of years ago, and then I went and saw him, and then I met him, and he was like, yo, like, after this meet and greet is over, like, he was like, I'm down to like kick it with you. He took me like backstage and hung out with him. Yeah. And then, I think fast forward like another 6 months, he had another show in Kansas City, and he invited me up to Kansas City. We went out to lunch together. Which that was like one of the coolest things I think I've done. Like I got to sit, like I went and picked Steve-O up from his hotel room with him and his dog Wendy, and we went out to lunch together. And cool. Yeah, and like it was more of like I mean, if you think like, oh, me and MacSavage and Steve-O getting together, like there's gonna be like some crazy like whatever building you guys are walking into is gonna like burn down, But no, man, we actually just like we just went out to lunch and like just kind of shot the shit, and we're just talking about like kind of where exactly I wanted to go, because at that point I was really just not sure like what exactly like direction I could go with my page, and so yeah, that whole experience was like awesome. The fact that he just wanted to, he was so willing to. Like somebody that big and like that busy and has always got shit going on was so willing to sit down with me, have a conversation with me, and like try to get a feel like for where I'm going with my stuff. Right, and he's like big supporter of it. So yeah, I think he's like one of the biggest like stars that like I've met and like hung out with. Yeah. And he actually just like a couple months ago, he had a show in Phoenix that we all went to, me and all my roommates, and then so my roommates all got to meet him, and then again like took us backstage after the show and was just chilling, shooting the shit. So is
this like stand-up comedy?
Yeah, so he has a comedy special that's like it's kind of like I think it was like a multimedia show or something like that. So it's like stand-up, but he also shows videos as well. Okay, yeah. So it was called his bucket list tour. So he does a bunch of stuff that he's had like on his bucket list, but like Jackass would never let him do it. Like it was almost stuff that's like too crazy. If you could imagine ideas that are too crazy to be in Jackass, right. that is what he shows at his stand-up special. And
so is he still doing like all these crazy stunts and shit?
Oh yeah,
really?
He's still doing all crazy stunts. Still, he's still wild Steve-O, man. Yeah, he is so wild Steve-O. And I mean, I respect the shit out of the man. Like he's in his 40s now. Like he's still killing it. I think they're actually filming Jackass 4 right now too. Yeah. So that I'm looking forward to that shit. And you know, Jackass guys back together. It's gonna be something crazy.
But they're getting like all the guys back together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Jackass was like literally one of those movies that I don't think anyone can say like doesn't deserve the credit that it got.
Yeah, and like who doesn't know what Jackass is?
Right.
I mean, some of the younger kids, and that's actually like something I've kind of started to run into like in the past like year or two, is like, I'll meet like some like 18 or 19-year-olds and like they don't know who Jackass, they don't know like who Steve-O is from Jackass or know what Jackass is. I'm like, how the fuck? I mean, like I just turned 25 a couple of days ago. But I'm like, really? Like we're getting to the point of there's like these like 19, 20-year-olds that don't know what Jackass is. Like
right.
it blows my mind because you'd think like everyone knows what that is.
MacSavage is up next, man. It's your era, man.
I'm hoping to get to that point where that'll be me next.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think the like the future is for MacSavage and like your whole brand? Like, do you plan on like going super hard for the next 5 years and then like settling down and stepping away from it, or just are you kind of playing it by ear right now?
I would say more of like playing it by ear. I would still say I don't think I have any idea the exact direction I'm headed. So I've tried to keep it almost like as open as possible, you could say. I don't, because I know I've had some friends in the industry who've been extremely successful, and they've been doing it for a lot longer than I have, and they're like just one example, like one of my friends who does pranks, and he's been extremely successful doing pranks, and he was like, dude, I'm sick of doing pranks. He's like, I just do the same shit over and over again, and it's just like, he's like, it's not fun anymore. And so I don't want to get myself to where I'm like burnt out on what I'm doing. So I've been trying to, I guess, branch out and do a lot of different things. Like I've done pranks, I've done skits, done like eating challenges, I've done like drinking challenges, I've done like a workout challenge / drinking challenge. I've done like a beer mile, that I'm just trying to incorporate as many like aspects as I possibly can, and like kind of like be learning different ways that I can bring more views in, I can bring more money in. And one thing that like I feel like you hear a lot with, especially with like business people and like entrepreneurs, is they always say, I'm finding out, they always say they have multiple different streams of income. And that's how like all your successful people are going to have multiple different streams of income. And with how social media is I feel like that is it's a perfect place to have multiple streams of income, because there's so many different things you can do. And that's what I'm trying to get myself to be, bringing in money as many different ways as possible. Like I just started streaming, playing like Call of Duty on Xbox.
Is that Twitch?
Yeah, on Twitch. Yeah. That's like super, super new. Like like in the past like week or two, I've done like, I'm still trying to like get all the kinks figured out and like get all the behind the scenes stuff and make sure it's like a good stream and whatnot.
I think that's the future though. Like
100%. Gaming's it's massive. It's massive nowadays. And the thing is like I go in there is like, I just need to be able to bring my aspect of entertainment to there, and I can easily do that. So like there, and then like through brand deals, and then like we're collabing with other people, like just making sure I'm spreading myself out as much as I can, like working with other people, like doing pranks. Like I've done some stuff with the Daily Dropout and like Big Doss TV. He owns the Daily Dropout. Okay. So I've done some stuff with them here and there. As well. So I'm just trying to like make sure I'm branching out as much as possible right now. So I guess right now is like the growth stage, establishing yourself, making a name for yourself, working with as many people as possible, so I can just be putting myself out there. And that's the thing. And if I can bring this to a point where it's can be my full-time job, like that's going to be a dream come true, man. And like I'm grinding on it, and a lot of people like will like have seen the like some of the people I know and people I'm hanging out with, but I'm like it still hasn't been a full-time job yet. It's going to take some work for it to get there, but I think I'm going down the right path. And I'm a big believer in if you just doing what you love, you're never going to work a day in your life. And if you're just a good person and you go out and just do what you want to do, like the right opportunities are going to fall into your lap. And so I'm just waiting, because you never know what opportunities are going to come knocking on your door tomorrow. Like there could be some crazy offer I get like tomorrow. So, just trying to keep myself very open. And like another thing, I just signed with a modeling agency out in Phoenix. So I'm starting to get gigs through modeling, and they do like casting for like movies, TV shows, reality TV. And that's another thing. I used to do like plays and stuff back in like high school and like middle school. So I love like the acting and like doing like skits. For sure, yeah. So I could see myself almost being like having acting being a future, something in the future. Especially because I feel like I can put out like a character pretty well. Just like kind of almost, it's almost like I could see myself playing a character similar to a MacSavage, but just like in like a movie role or something that. I think that would be awesome.
Well, that's what's so crazy about the internet is like you literally I mean, you don't know who's seeing your content. So look at like is it like Logan Paul, I think, is like him and his brother Jake are like blowing up in the boxing scene. Now. You got two guys that started off making prank videos, and now one of them's boxing Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, like you never know like what direction it can take you, and that's why I've been trying to keep myself such an open book. Because of stuff like that. Like you never know where it's gonna go, and that's why I love it. That's why I love the industry is there's a million different things you can do, and as long as you're keeping the entertainment aspect, that's all they're doing. The Paul brothers, they're always entertaining, no matter what, and so that's what I guess another thing I'm trying to do, just always have something fun, and that's where if I'm focusing on that and just keeping it open, kind of ride it out and. You never know what the future is going to bring, man.
I think it's really just like being in the game and staying consistent with it is the key to it. Just don't sit on the sideline. Just put content out there, make something, and you'll kind of figure it out as you go.
No, and that's like, it's a hard thing because a lot of people like ask me like, how do you come up with these ideas? Like where does it come from? And I still don't even have an answer to that question. Like I don't know. Like this stuff just I feel like it just kind of comes out of nowhere sometimes. Like even. I'll go out to film a video sometimes and have like this whole idea in my head of how video is going to work. And then like on the spot, like something will happen or I'll do something else just out of nowhere. And like that ends up being like way funnier than like the original idea. So like you just, like I said, you just never know like what's going to happen or what's going to come of like what you're doing like specifically that day or like for that.